On Close Up today, we'll tell you how to stay relaxed during exams.
And a long-standing policy the Chinese government is ready to change.
No matter what your major, there is an affordable way to study abroad and graduate in 4 years.
From hookups to something more, Winthrop weighs in on relationships.
Find out why many students are ready to head home for break. Winthrop Close Up.
From the Department of Mass Communication at Winthrop University, you're watching Winthrop Close Up.
Welcome to Winthrop Close Up. I'm Demetri Williams.
And I'm Megan Mack. Final projects and exams are right around the corner, and Winthrop students are starting to prepare. Reporter Leslie Brown shows us how students cope with stress.
The end of the semester is quickly approaching, and students are trying to ace their finals. According to the American College Health Association, more than half of college students reported above average or tremendous stress levels in a spring 2012 study.
My best advice for reducing stress during the final exam period is to not wait until the night before, to start studying at least a week earlier, and if you haven't caught up with all the reading and the class materials, probably start even earlier than that.
ASC tutoring, the Writing Center, and house calls are available for students who need help with their work. One Winthrop student says he has a perfect strategy for success.
I don't really stress during final exams, really. Some ways that I could probably deal with it, though. I relax. I make sure that I study for everything before I take the test, and I make sure I pace myself.
During exam time, I deal with stress by listening to music and watching Disney Channel movies.
Dr. Ryland says that planning is key.
Because when you're prepared in advance, stress goes way, way down, and that way you have time to eat well and sleep and exercise before the exams.
I'm Leslie Brown, reporting for Winthrop Close Up.
With one semester wrapping up, you may be thinking about the semesters ahead and possibly studying abroad. This may seem out of reach, but thanks to the Global Learning Initiative, it's much more attainable than most think. Lauren McCoy has more.
Traveling the world is something most people dream of. Winthrop has found an affordable way for that dream to come true.
Last year, faculty across the campus in every major program wrestled with a challenge that we gave them, which was to figure out how to integrate a semester or a year abroad into every major program in every college. And I am so gratified to say that really every single college adopted this with a great deal of enthusiasm and kind of an open-mindedness of purpose.
If studying abroad isn't for you, don't worry, the Global Learning Initiative sponsors many cultural events to bring new culture to you.
There's that idea of global that it seems just international, but the way Winthrop has defined global is it just being outside of your own personal experiences.
GLI isn't just going to events and studying abroad. It's implemented into classrooms every day.
The purpose of the Global Learning Initiative is to infuse more global learning components and content into the Touchstone General Education program.
We focus on the faculty's work, on their professional development, what kind of conferences they can go to, what kind of materials they need to boost that up within their classes.
It's an integrated world. There is no place that we can go and nothing that we can do that doesn't have a global impact. So if we are not preparing our students for situations and circumstances that are outside their normal culture and their normal doing of every day and living of every day, then we have failed in our efforts to educate.
Winthrop encourages their students to take full advantage of the GLI program. I'm Lauren McCoy for Winthrop Close Up.
If you want to find out more about studying abroad, visit the International Center upstairs in Dinkins.
Whether you're single or in a relationship, knowing what you want is key. I went to find out how students view college relationships. Sigma Gamma Rho and Delta Zeta hosted Mr. Right, a program where panelists and audience members discussed how certain standards influence relationship choices.
Because we do always have these checklists and say we want this guy who has this and this and that, but then we always date guys who don't have those things.
But what exactly is Mr. Right and Mr. Right Now?
Whoever you're in the moment with is Mr. Right Now. They could eventually turn into Mr. Right, but for the moment, they're Mr. Right Now. And it's just, who you're seeing, who you're hanging out with, that sort of thing. I think Mr. Right ends up being the person that you see yourself long-term with.
In the age of hooking up and friends with benefits, relationships seem hard to come by. With classes and other commitments as college students, is it possible to maintain a relationship in college?
It is possible to meet Mrs. Wright or Mr. Wright in college. You just have to be understanding and be open-minded to different things, because you never know.
So be on the lookout. Mr. or Mrs. Wright might be closer than you think. But remember, the key to being happy in a relationship is to first be happy with yourself.
That is so very true. Coming up next, the people of Toronto are not happy with Mayor Ford, and he is now facing the consequences. Welcome back. In Toronto, Canada, the city mayor is in a battle for his political life. Mayor Rob Ford has admitted to smoking crack cocaine during a drunken stupor. However, he maintains that he is not a drug addict and is still capable of carrying out the duties of mayor. The Toronto City Council members held a vote of strip Mayor Ford of some of his power, including his ability to govern in case of an emergency and appoint and dismiss his senior staff. After all that has happened, the mayor is quoted as saying, "I'm most definitely keeping this job." Typhoon Haiyan battered the Philippines over a week ago, shattering residential houses and hospital buildings. The largest public hospital in the region is experiencing a lack of drug and blood supplies that is preventing doctors from performing most operations. Many patients have been transferred to bigger hospitals, and some have died from infections and excessive bleeding. Workers are clearing roads so stranded medical supplies can be moved from the local airport.
After months of hints, China announced that it will change its decades-long one-child policy. The policy will be slightly relaxed so that couples will be allowed to have 2 children if one of the parents was an only child. They also announced the abolishment of labor camps in an effort to improve human rights. Critics have long accused authorities of misusing the camps to silence so-called troublemakers. What started out as a request to the Make-A-Wish Foundation turned into a dream come true. 5-year-old Miles Scott, who was diagnosed with leukemia at just 18 months, became Batman for a day. Who better to fight crime than someone who has battled his disease into remission? He rescued a damsel in distress and was summoned by the police chief with a bat signal. More than 10,000 people signed up to make this dream come true.
From school shootings to acts of terrorism, guns have created an image of horror for a lot of people. Reporter Chelsea Vicari shows us another side of firearms to combat the negative stigma.
From military personnel to terrorists, right down to everyday civilians, guns are everywhere. Within recent years, the nation has stirred up a conversation about gun control and public safety. The Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution ensures the right to bear arms for all citizens. This amendment is part of the Bill of Rights and was adopted in 1791. The amendment supports the natural right of self-defense and was intended to protect citizens. One woman shares how she exercised her right over 30 years ago.
And so somebody came in and tried to come in, and next thing I knew, I saw a foot there, so I shot at it. And I hit it.
When asked if she would still react the same way today, this is what she had to say.
I would have no problem doing it. Done it once, do it again.
The concealed weapons permit allows people to carry guns with them wherever they go. However, if you're a student considering purchasing a firearm, the rules change when it comes to having them on campus. Students with a permit are allowed to have guns, although they must be left in their vehicles in the parking lot. Students are not allowed to have them on school grounds. Winthrop University's Sergeant Ierta shows his #1 safety tip for owning a firearm.
I've heard of stories where the fathers actually shot their children because they were cleaning their gun, and they got lax about the proper safety involved in that. You always treat a gun as if it's loaded.
As law enforcement cracks down on keeping people safe around firearms, the process for purchasing a gun seems pretty easy.
They asked me for my ID and then my social security number, and they run a quick background check on you, and then you give them the money for the gun, and that's about it.
The law states that anyone can have a gun as long as they are not a convicted felon. Further attempts to tighten gun control laws are being debated. This is Chelsea Vicari for Winthrop Close Up.
The Peace Corps is an option for all students, but not many know about it. Reporter Daisy Burrows tells us what it takes to complete the program.
Well, overall it was an excellent experience. I went in because I really wanted to get out and see the world.
Phillips completed his Peace Corps experience in El Salvador after graduating with his degree in biology.
I've always wanted to have a link to Latin America ever since I first started going there in 1974.
After teaching in Costa Rica, Phillips ultimately found his way to Winthrop and has been influencing students ever since.
Him making it seem like fun and interesting makes it interesting to me.
Students like Diana Frank are learning more about the Peace Corps, including requirements, eligibility, and benefits.
It's a minimum of 2-year requirement. You go overseas and you just help out in other countries and you learn their culture and you have to go through intensive training.
I found out that they go to other countries and help Native people with whatever needs that they may need.
I don't know how I could do about 2 years away from my family, but I mean, it seems interesting. I like helping people.
The Peace Corps offers all participants insurance while they serve and even helps to pay for graduate school. Daisy Burrows for Winthrop Close Up.
If you are interested in learning more about the Peace Corps and all of its opportunities, check out the website listed below.
Up next in sports, we take a look at how the track team is preparing for a meet with a Thanksgiving twist.
Welcome back to Winthrop Close Up. I'm Chelsea Vicari with your Eagle Sports Update. The AP Top 15 has switched it up in the past few weeks. In a surprising twist, Auburn came back in the fourth quarter to beat Georgia 43-38 with a touchdown in the last minute and 50 seconds of the game. Stanford dropped from number 5 to number 10 after a 20-17 loss to the Southern California Trojans. Although South Carolina defeated the Florida Gators 19-14, but dropped one spot to number 12. This is the third time this season the Gamecocks have won, but dropped in the polls. To see the full AP Top 25 rankings and scores of the NCAA football games, go to ESPN.com. The Eagles track and field team are getting excited for their first indoor meet. Alexandria Savage takes us to the track for a look at the turkey takedown.
And athletes are working feverishly preparing for the first indoor meet Winthrop has ever hosted.
The turkey takedown, what's special about this meet is it's running on an outdoor facility, but we're able to count it as an indoor meet. So we're going to run a 60-meter dash, 60-meter hurdles, and finals, and everything else will be normal.
This meet outside is going to be really interesting. Usually we're indoor around this time, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think the turkey takedown is a really good opportunity to kind of like compete before Christmas break and Thanksgiving break. It's a good opportunity for the freshmen to kind of get a taste of like what a meet is going to be like. So it'll be a good opportunity to see where we are and where the competition stands as well.
Because of this year's scheduling, students are unable to compete in any indoor meets prior to Christmas break. But this meet will allow students to see how they rank going into the indoor season.
They're going to be able to see how their training has paid off. They're going to show up and be able to sprint and run full 60s and have 40 more meters, so it's going to be nice for them to be able to run full out on their home track and take pride in their training that they've done thus far.
It's great having a meet come in before Christmas break, because we're just, chilling on Christmas, so it'd be great to have something to start off with, see where we're at and what we need to work on during the Christmas break.
I prefer outdoor meets, and so for me, an indoor-outdoor meet would be great. 400 meters is only one lap as opposed to two. It's outdoor. The only thing I am a little concerned about is the weather. It could be a little cold, but we'll just have to make do.
Athletes and coaches are ready for the upcoming competition and to take down these turkeys. Alexandria Savage, Winthrop Close Up.
We'll keep you updated with what's going on with the track team as the season flies by. The Panthers have had a fairly good season so far this year, but last night gave the fans something to brag about this week. The Panthers dominated the game up until the fourth quarter when the Patriots scored 10 points, putting them ahead 20-17. In the last 59 seconds of the game, Carolina quarterback Cam Newton threw to Ted Ginn Jr. for a 25-yard touchdown. This was the Panthers' 6th consecutive win. The Panthers still have plenty of games ahead to make more amazing plays. We've come to the end of our Eagle Sports Update. Make sure to come out to our live show December 2nd to see the best sports stories from this semester. Let's see what Cheyenne has for us in arts and entertainment.
Welcome to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Cheyenne Lewis. This week we honor our veterans through military-inspired fashion in a series of one-act plays produced by students. But in honor of the holidays, let's take a look at our YouTube pick of the week, Thanksgiving's Coming to Get You. Welcome back. We celebrated America's heroes last week for Veterans Day, but the recognition didn't stop there. Demetri Williams shows us why it's fashionable to honor our vets.
What they make hats out of.
Salute to Couture is a runway fashion show comprised of different military garments. Organizer Rita Fair says the inspiration for these garments is found in all types of military wear.
The project has just absolutely ballooned itself. There's so many people getting involved. We've gotten so much community support behind it.
All the proceeds from the fashion show are to benefit the Wounded Warrior Project.
And to hear them talk about their positive outlook on life and what it is to be a hero, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing.
The many pieces featured in the upcoming fashion show are used with materials from past military uniforms, even equipment such as parachutes and tents.
So I've made a crop top out of some of the name tags that are on military jackets. This model will be wearing the names of all these people who have sacrificed their time and kind of honoring them.
Students who are actually serving our country in the armed forces are lending their services by modeling in the fashion show as well.
I really just think it's for a really good cause, and you know, it just feels good to do something for my fallen brothers and something to benefit all my brothers in arms.
The fashion show is a commentary on the price of war. Fair drew the inspiration for the show from a lot of military veterans in her family.
I just grew up around it, and I grew up with an immense amount of respect for what they do for us as a country.
All of the clothes are being custom made along with donations from veterans within the community. Salute to Couture is an opportunity to give back to the people who have given so much to us. At Winthrop University, Demetri Williams, Winthrop Close Up.
Salute to Couture will be March 7th, and tickets are on sale at the website listed below. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Nene Leakes was hospitalized this week for a mystery illness, and the reality star says she's blessed to be alive. Leakes posted a message on her website saying she went to the hospital after feeling short of breath and was diagnosed with blood clots in her lung. She added it's due to her constant traveling around the country for her job, but reassured her fans she is doing okay. Winthrop is home to some very talented artists, and as the semester rolls to an end, reporter Mike Zumak shows what some students have produced.
Till the big plucker comes.
Winthrop's theater department hosts several different plays throughout the year. Every semester, upperclassmen come together under the direction of Professor Russell Luke to develop a weekend-long series of one-act plays.
It's a directing class that is taught every semester, and we go through directing theory and various approaches to directing, but the final project is that the students become directors and they find a one act which they will produce, we cast and we produce on stage.
Some of the one acts in the past have been written by students. However, this go around, students have chosen plays already published.
This is a real fast-paced show. That's how I want it to be, at least. And so it's been challenging organizing 6 people to hit certain marks and make sure they exit and enter at the right time and get certain cues down. But it's been fun, and I'm excited.
Johnson's choice was a parody of Cinderella called Cripperella, starring students with varying levels of acting experience.
It's been quite an experience because you don't know what you're going to get, especially when you go into auditions. It's been very interesting because, you know, there's lots of different directing styles out there, and it's fun. It's fun for the seniors as well as they start to realize what they want to do with their show.
Theater productions and dance recitals give students a much-needed opportunity to receive cultural credits. Students, faculty, and staff also receive discounts on admission. The next event that you can see is a dance recital this weekend. Money collected from the admission sales is funneled back into the theater department to aid future productions. This is Mike Zumak for Winthrop Close Up.
Information about future productions can be found at the theater department website listed below. Great news for Kelly Clarkson. The American Idol alum announced her first pregnancy on Twitter on Tuesday, writing, "I'm pregnant. Brandon and I are so excited. Best early Christmas present ever." Clarkson, who helps take care of Brandon's 2 children from a previous relationship, couldn't be more excited about her pregnancy. Well, this wraps up Arts and Entertainment. Dimitri?
Thanks, Cheyenne. Thanksgiving break is right around the corner and students are getting hungrier the closer we get to Thursday. Reporter Harrison Garvin shares how some students plan to spend the time off.
Final exams are approaching, but many students have their mindset on a more delightful train of thought.
I'm really ready to eat like a home-cooked meal because I'm tired of eating in digs and fast food. And more importantly, I am ready to see my family.
Thanksgiving isn't the only reason Winthrop students are ready to head home. A healthy meal is on the menu also.
A lot of the food back home is a lot fresher, especially like the salads. It's a lot easier to be healthier back home as well. In Australia, we don't have as much fast food. There's not as much chips and burgers, and if they do have them, they're a lot healthier as well.
Student stomachs are rumbling louder and louder the closer we get to the big holiday. Some students are looking forward to just spending time with their family members.
I'm ready for Thanksgiving break. I'm ready to see my family and friends and just relax and cook and watch the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special.
Most students plan to leave immediately after class next Tuesday to head home for a stovetop meal. This is Harrison Garvin for Winthrop Close Up.
If you're still hungry after the break, you can come watch a live taping of Winthrop Close Up and enjoy lunch.
For our Best Of show, we will be at the Edge in Diggs on Monday, December 2nd at 12:30. If you show up, you might even have a chance to be on camera.
If you have any story ideas or suggestions for the show, you can email them at the email listed below.
You can also stay in touch with us by liking us on Facebook and following us on Instagram and Twitter. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving.